Welcome back to the show. Today, at 6'6", it's hard to find a vehicle that fits the 2021 Volkswagen ID.4 Pro S. Today we're going to be taking a tour of this vehicle, and we're going to see how we fit. Before we get this party started, a big shout out to Sands Chevrolet in Glendale, Arizona. They let me borrow this car for this review. At the time of this filming, this vehicle is a used car on their lot. So check them out if you got questions.
Sands Chevrolet Glendale has the Chevrolet car, truck, or SUV you're looking for at a fantastic price. Hurry in today. Stop by and explore our huge inventory of new Chevrolets or see all current offers at sandsglendale.com. Sands Chevrolet, serving Arizona for over 75 years. Sands does it better for less. Sands Chevrolet Glendale.
To gain access to the vehicle, you do have a key fob here, which has buttons. But as long as you have the key on you, just grab under here. There you go. Door space opens up pretty wide. Now this seat is not adjusted for my height just yet. This is actually the first time I'm getting in this vehicle. It looks tight. It does have a manual tilt telescopic steering wheel. Wow, with an incredible range of motion. Power windows, power locks, power side view mirrors. Whoa. Not gonna lie, I didn't think that thing would go that far back. Wow, this is an interesting interior. All right, hopping back in with my seating position. It's interesting, once you step in the vehicle, it kind of comes alive. You don't really have to push anything. I guess once it senses the key, it kind of just knows you're here because the heat and everything kind of turned on. The gear selector is up here. Oh, this thing is crazy. Immediate climate control. Wow. The headrest come up. Feel a button here. Ooh. Whoa. Headrests do come up and it actually, wow. The longer I sit in this car, the more I'm impressed with everything that you get. This car is absolutely amazing already. It's a Qi wireless phone charging pad. Let's see if my phone fits and charges. Yes, it does. Wow. It has two very large cup holders here. That's where I guess you can put the key for whatever reason if there is the need to. I'm assuming these are card slots to where you can put like a credit card or a parking card or whatever. The vents below the head unit, which makes sense because the head units in these cars these days, the DIN system is gone. It's all about put your foot on the brake and that's how you go from check this out. This is interesting. These have haptic feedback buttons. Just barely touch things. It tells you what's going on. Even the lock and unlock button. Haptic. You barely have to hit it. Very interesting. So when you want to roll down your windows, these are the two controls you get. But there's 4 doors, right? You have to hit that button to communicate that you want to use the rear windows. Now these same switches that were for the front are now for the rear. That's an interesting touch. I'm not sure how I feel about that, honestly. As soon as you sit down, you are like greeted with this charade of things here. You got your infotainment. Home screen. That'll probably take some time getting used to. Like always, if it's your vehicle, you'll be able to figure once you figure this stuff out. I do like how the center stack, or the gauge cluster, if you will, does move with the steering wheel. It's affixed to the steering column. Down here, you will find that wireless phone charger, and my phone fits. The biggest phone you can have fits in there. Down here, you have two USB-C outlets. Down here, you could practically use this as another cup holder because these are removable. You just kind of turn it around, put it back in, and now you have another cup holder there. Or you can remove them completely and have a very large space right here. And yes, this whole space does close up. Center area has two individual armrests, which I do like, that fold out of the way. Color me impressed. There is an absolute remarkable amount of space in here. I am very shocked. In fact, I would venture to say that you could probably pull up just a little bit so that you're not like this. Plenty of headroom, and this has a that is a seriously large panoramic sunroof. I mean, it is massive. And this is the first vehicle I've seen that actually has a sunshade. Check out what you have to do to close it. It has 4-way lumbar support. That 4-way lumbar support is nice. 8-way power seats. We're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to have 2 back seat tests. So first, I'm going to have this seat all the way down and all the way back. Okay, now this is a comfortable driving position for me right now. So let's go get in the back seat and see what that looks like. Sitting behind myself. Kind of a low bar there, but wow. So this, as is, just barely makes it. My head has plenty of headroom, although if you do kind of stretch up, you do just barely hit the back, which sucks. So you'd have to always be kind of like leaned forward, like you're running from something. Just too bad. The seats do not move. They do not recline. They do fold forward, however. My feet do fit underneath the seat, just barely. Don't know if you can see that, but there's actually a little light underneath the seat. That's a nice touch for the rear seats. And of course, rear vents. You know how I love my rear vents. Tells you what this is. This is the ID. Doesn't say 4, which is interesting. I wonder if they make a 2-door version, if it'll be called the ID.2. Anyway, 2 USB charging ports. This seat it's reclined back a little bit. It's not quite all the way back in its tracks, but you can see how much legroom that has. This does have an armrest. So the middle seat, the floor is flat, but there's nowhere to put your feet. Unfortunately, the rear vents protrude into your feet space, so you would have to share the feet space with the left and right of you, passenger. If the seats are reclined back like this one is, your legs are kind of squished. Headroom is about the same. Even though this middle hump here is pretty high, it's about the same. Pull that bad boy out. There you go. 2.5 cup holders. I don't know what that's for. Maybe that's for the handle of a coffee cup, I guess, or I'm not sure. And it does have a pass-through. That way you can get into the back, the void. Hey, there's one of the tethers for the latch system for your car seats. There's another latch for the car seat. If you kind of scoot down just a little bit, the rear headrest actually come up to the back of my head. Kind of have to slouch just a little bit in the back of the seat, but overall, really good. I'm impressed. Not gonna lie. Okay, now I'm gonna move the seat up just a little bit. If I know I'm going to have passengers in the back seat, and it's going to be a long trip, or if I just don't want to be rude and give people just a little bit more space, I probably would change my driving position. See, now this is way more bearable. Now this is a comfortable place to be. Hey. Why am I locked in here? To open the back hatch, just give it a little wave. There's that pass-through. There's the latch mechanisms there for your car seats. This does have a storage area here. Kind of a dual storage area. You can even take this and slide it underneath to have a lower load floor. Just a tiny bit. And then you can go further down the rabbit hole and you find another storage area with your spare tire kit, which is just an inflator. And that's about it. That's all the storage you get under here. There's nothing under there. The strap here doesn't work as well as you think. That's it. You can either press the button here, or you can give your foot a little wave. Let's see if we can get this to work. Open it. Nope, can't get it to do it opening. Standard J1772 connector with a CCS adapter for fast charging, for DC fast charging. When equipped with a level 1 charger, which is 120 volts, it'll take approximately 50 hours, that's 50 hours, to go from 0 to 100. Not ideal. That's usually best reserved for emergencies and or top-offs at home overnight. When you do your daily commute of whatever, 30 or 40 miles, let's just say, on the high end, and you can top off with that every night, and you'll have a full battery when you wake up. Stepping up from that is a level 2 charger, which is 240 volt setup. That takes about 7.5 hours to go from 0 to 100. That's a pretty significant step up, so if that sounds like a deal breaker for the level 1, which is included with the car, get yourself set up with a level 2 charger at home. You won't have to worry about it. Obviously, if you don't use the full battery's output in an entire day, then it will take a lot less than 7.5 hours to charge. And then you can go from a step up even from that, which is DC fast charging, which is what that second little cover was
unveiling there. That goes from 0 to 80% in just 38 minutes. That's mostly for the road trips. The reason why it only goes to 0 to 80 is because that last 20% is a buffer. So it will slow down the charge. It's not going to give it the full juice at that last 20%. And that's for battery health. That's just the way the chemistry of the battery works to get longevity out of it. I don't know if you know this or not, but I love projector headlights. These even go a step further. They're adaptive headlights, so they turn with the road. You can see here it's adjusting for the height. So you're going uphill, it dips down just a little bit so it's not blinding oncoming traffic. Everything is LEDs, turn signals, running lights, high and low beam, all LEDs. I absolutely love this setup, I'm not gonna lie. These types of headlights make a huge difference, and I hope the US as a whole can adapt these, no pun intended, this style of headlight assembly. It literally is 10 times better than what we're dealing with now. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually very impressed. As seen here, the ID.4 Pro S, this is the 2-wheel drive version, this gets about 245 miles on a full charge. So let's just say, for argument's sake, your daily commute. Let's take my specific daily commute. From my home to my job is 44 miles round trip per day. I do have the availability to charge at work, but let's just say for another example, I won't be able to charge at work. So 44 miles. When I get home, I still have an additional 200 miles to go. Now let's say I'm a cheapo, I don't want to get a level 2 charger. I only use the level 1 charger. The level 1 charger gives you about 4.5 to 4.9 miles. Let's just say just a tad bit under 5 miles per hour of charge. So in 12 hours, you get about 50 miles. So if I plug this in at night when I get home, by the time I get ready to go back to work, I will have a full charge again. No trips to any public chargers that I don't need to go to. I can just go from home to work, home to the grocery store, all that good jazz. Outside of a road trip, I don't generally travel 250 miles per day. So as you can see, this fits. And speaking of fitting, the ID.4 fits very well. If you have 4, maybe even 5, 6 plus footers, there's definitely enough room. They put enough thought into this car where the cup holders, you can adjust them, you know, everything. It's got rear vents, which you know I love. It's got projector headlights, which you know I love. The headrests come up a decent amount, which is something that is super rare. I gotta hand it to them. With this kind of mileage, this car gets a big win from me. Good job, Volkswagen. I will say this, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't offer any type of storage up front, as in the frunk or front trunk. Maybe it's better for the manufacturing process, I really can't tell you, but that was a weird omission. Not a bad thing, there's plenty of storage on the inside. I just feel like they should have at least put a small little container up front underneath the hood, away from the elements for the most part, for like say the charging cord, the level 1 charging cord for example. Can't always have it all, I guess. As far as everything else, it's a solid win. The space, the practicality of this car, the mileage, I just think it's an overall home run, and I highly recommend the 2021 Volkswagen ID.4. Well, that's our show. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the views, the likes, the subscriptions. Share it with your friends. Share it with total strangers. Whatever you got to do to get that information out there, I'd really appreciate it. We got a lot more content coming your way. I'm working on a few more things. And we're just going to keep the ball rolling. That's all I got for now, folks. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.